Video number 44. Number 44.1. On March 4, 2023, at 9:30 a.m., my wife and I were on the first floor of our home. I heard steps coming from the second floor. I asked my wife if the kids had come for a visit. She replied, "No." I let it go thinking maybe the house is settling. But then I heard steps again, clearly coming from the second floor. I went upstairs to verify and found nothing, no one present on the top floor. Later that day I learned my mother had perished in a car accident. When I asked what time it had happened, I was told 10:30 Eastern Time. I live in Kansas, so it would have been 9:30 where I live. I believe my mom visited me the moment she passed. Number 44.2. My mom had a massive stroke and was in a nursing home dying. 3 days before she passed, she pointed several times up at the corner and said, "Mama passed." I didn't say anything else and couldn't say anything else. Number 44.3. A short time before my mother died, she awoke from her coma and said her two older dead sisters, Anne and Eve, were there in the room waiting for her. Number 44.4. My husband and I were with my mother when she passed away in 1994. She was sitting on the bed and looked towards the bedroom door and smiled and said, "Oh, there are 5 of you." She then stroked my husband's face, stroked my hand and laid back onto her pillow and passed away. Number 44.5. My brother just died of a long and protracted battle with cancer. Stoic and brave to the end, he fought the grim reaper right up to the final moment. During the process he would sharply awaken from the throes, and with his eyes wide awake he would ask me could I see our predeceased mother beside him, which I couldn't. She came to him several times, and one time near the last, he claimed our father was there also and asked could I see him. Number 44.6. A similar thing happened as my dad was dying. He kept pointing up to the corner of the room. I asked him if he saw lights and he nodded that he did. Number 44.7. This is true. My father fell suddenly very sick morning on the day he died. My grandmother was unaware of this or that he had to be taken to the ER. At 10 a.m. while she was tending to her garden, he appeared to her in the yard, and she asked, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He didn't talk, he just smiled. He looked bright as light and then he disappeared. He visited her exactly at the time of his death. Number 44.8. My grandfather was on his deathbed in the hospital ICU. I went to visit him, and as I approached his room, the ICU rooms didn't have doors, I heard his voice. He said, "I'll have some of that pie." I figured he was awake and family was visiting. As I got closer to his room I heard him say, "Don't leave, where are you going?" When I entered his room he was asleep and nobody else was there. He was one of 13 brothers, all had passed away and so had his wife. I believe they were all there to be with him in his last days. Now I believe your loved ones who passed will be there to greet you when it's your time. Please subscribe, like and share with anyone that needs these comforting stories. See link in description to submit your own story. Search for my related book on Amazon using the title of 4,000 Deathbed Vision Stories. Submit your story using the email address below, in the description field.